Okay, so we reached out to the Kingsway Regional School District for comment, spoke with James Lavender, Superintendent. Hey, is this Jim?
Yeah.
Hey, this is James O'Keefe with OMG calling you for comment. We're running a story about a video that we're about to break. Fallon Corcoran, I don't know if that name sounds familiar. She's a student assistant coordinator at Kingsway Regional School District.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Okay, so we just got off the phone with this guy. His name was actually Lavender. That's ironic. There's actually two Lavenders now in New Jersey. The guy also said he asked me if I was a Jersey guy from Bergen County, and I told him that.
I'm familiar with your name. You're from Jersey, aren't you?
I'm from Bergen County, yeah.
Email the words to me. Let me take a look at it. I'll share with the policy, and I can clarify anything else when I have a better understanding of what you're looking at.
Well, my question is, if that's accessible to the public via public records request, how do you intend to keep secrets from families if I can simply file a FOIA request for the information exchange between administrators in your school district?
Okay, I understand your question. Send me the information. I'll look at it. I'll share my policy, and I can better answer it.
I think this guy might actually be against this law because there's a tweet that he put out on August 12th saying an abdication of responsibility, Governor Murphy, in the highest form today, straddling fence only serves to pit teachers against parents and schools against schools, all on the eve of opening. New Jersey schools deserve better.
We do have confidentiality. That means that everything that we talk about stays between us. So I am not telling your teachers, administrators, calling home. It is all private.
So this is Fallon Corcoran, the same woman that the audio you just heard, saying that she wants to put the name into Genesis without it being visible by family. So it involves deception, and we would like your comment. We're going to air the story here.
Well, it sounds like she's implementing our administrative practice here, which emanates from our policy, which emanates from New Jersey Department of Education's guidance on how we provide support for students who identify or have gender identity.
The employee in question is implementing a practice which is consistent with Kingsway Board of Education Policy 5756, transgender and gender nonconforming students, specifically the confidentiality and privacy section of the policy, which reads, school staff members may not disclose information that may reveal a student's transgender status except as allowed by law. So the superintendent kept saying, look at our policy, look at our policy. So we pulled it up. It says the guidance in number 4, confidentiality and privacy, school personnel may not disclose information that may reveal a student's transgender status except as allowed by law. That's the state guidance. And I basically said to him, it doesn't say anything about parents.
So I think you're probably familiar with New Jersey's laws, and the Attorney General is pretty well spoken about this. There's controversy statewide, I understand, with these policies. And so it sounds like to me the teacher is implementing the practice that emanates from our policy.
That's the inputting the name into Genesis without it being visible by families?
Well, I have to pull the policy and look at it. Yeah, there is a part of the policy where we are prohibited from sharing that information with parents if we do not have the student consent. You guys, as journalists, will have to go ahead and look at state guidance. If you would like a copy of the policy, I'll share the policy with you. The district policy, which emanates from DOE guidance, which emanates from or is consistent with the laws against discrimination in New Jersey.
I'm struggling to understand how the policy that you're speaking about speaks to the statement on video in the email where she's entering information into Genesis to keep it secret from parents, because that's what the language in the email.
I'm happy to share the policy with you.
The policy you speak of doesn't say anything about not telling parents. The language of the guidance is vague. So I'm asking for your clarification on the wording of this email written by your employee. The focus of our story is on the fact that parents aren't aware, and that your staffer is trying, in her own words, is trying to make sure that parents don't see the information. So the question is, does this state law actually say something about parents.
That's the crux of it, and you're absolutely right. I mean, in this guidance, not only this guidance, but there's also something called FERPA, which is the Federal Education Records something, kind of like HIPAA. That obviously says nothing about keeping information from parents.
There's this Section 5 school records. If a student has expressed a preference to be called a name other than the birth name, permanent student records containing the student's birth name should be kept in a separate confidential file. But again, that doesn't say anything about parents.
All that says is that you have to allow the student to be the identity they want.
So he sent along a Kingsbridge BOE policy, that's the district policy, which does say the principal or designee is advised to work with the student to create an appropriate confidentiality plan regarding the student's transgender status. So confidentiality, but it doesn't mention confidential from parents. Maybe it's implied. So it will be interesting to see what happens.